Oh my goodness gracious, glorioski me, oh my, you guys and gals. It is time for game number 5 as we are at match point of Zynga versus Google. I am Day 9 and welcome to the After Hours Gaming League where top tech companies battle for a chance to donate $5,000 of my money to the charity of their choosing. In the left corner we have the team currently up 3-1. It is Zynga, the makers of Farmville. Their opponents, one of the largest companies on the internet. It is Google. Currently at 1-3, Tyre in the previous game managed to avoid a narrow 4-0 loss for his team with some sick clutch banelings. What's going to be happening in game number 5? Let's pop in to have one of the newcomers. It's Sick Iggy, a senior software engineer from Team Zynga. And in the top right corner, his opponent, a Google Zerg, Decon, who does motorcycle racing and has one of the most badass pictures on the After Hours Gaming League website, AHGL.TV. Now keep in mind, the Google Zerg has to win this game. If he can pull the win off, his team will avoid elimination. Sick Iggy, on the other hand, can pull the victory for his team, allowing them to advance to the grand finals. Almost everyone expected the finals to be of the top 2 teams. Microsoft, the number 1 ranked team, against Google, the number 2 ranked team. Few would have suspected that Zynga could be one game away from advancing to the finals, which would be a David versus Goliath situation. Now Sick Iggy from Team Zynga advancing to the top right corner. Going to go ahead and scout up into that base on 8. Not going to wait in the slightest. Not going to do any sort of micro-ing. In the bottom left corner we see Ziggy. I don't know why I said microing. I guess you'd be doing a little macroing. Oh goodness. It's important for the commentator to know the vocabulary of StarCraft 2. Oh my god! Sick Iggy manages to avoid some serious after-school bullying by those misfits, the drones at Camp Decon. The spawning pool now about halfway complete. Decon favoring the early pool opening to secure himself a very fast expansion at his expansion. Does look like Sick Iggy continuing to poke and prod around the outskirts. He wants to keep count on the gas and of course on the progress of the pool, but most importantly on how many of those larvae are starting to stockpile up. In the camp of Sick Iggy, who has a very boss tattoo of him flexing. Or excuse me, there's a photo of him flexing, showing off a tattoo. It's a big difference between a photo of you flexing and you have a tattoo versus a tattoo of you flexing. I think that would be awesome to have a tattoo of yourself on yourself. But of course, Sick Iggy doesn't necessarily do that. Wow. We also see Sick Iggy now scouting into the base. He spots the 2 Zerglings who will be pulling back. Will he be able to plant the Manor Pylon? No, he's actually going to be heading right back to the bottom left corner. We also see Sick Iggy getting ready to build that first Zealot up. Might be a little bit late. We also see some Chrono Boost saved up by Sick Iggy, no doubt to be spent on those sentries, on those warp gates. But it looks like, most importantly, on Zealot number 1, numero uno, he doesn't want Decon to slip up into the base and get any information. Though there's nothing that noteworthy being produced, Sick Iggy doesn't want his gateway count revealed at all. We do see Decon at the front of the base now. Will one sentry get produced right away? There it is. Instant timing on that fast sentry. Expo now planted for Decon, the Google Zerg. Sick Iggy from Zynga with one of the sickest names of all time. Now going to be up against the double queen transition from Decon. Decon continuing to nibble away, is actually amazingly taking that gateway down to half-life, but he's decided that that's enough for him. He is tired. He is going home. Only 1 gateway down right now for Sick Iggy after his first one. It looks like we're going to see gateway number 3 get planted in a moment, or he may even be willing to throw down a Stargate. We see a little bit of saving going on, and there it is, Sick Iggy from Team Zynga. Not one of the regulars in the regular season. Now one of the players popping into this big, important final semifinal match. Decon collecting himself enough gas to get that Zergling speed. But I'm curious to see what sort of pressure Sick Iggy has in store. Will the Zerg player be prepared enough for it? With the double gas down, Sick Iggy has himself a reasonable amount of DAT income. There's the warp gate now en route. Decon joining his 2 bases together with creep as he continues to add on larva galore. And now we have a roach warren being planted. Decon is going to be expecting an expand from his opponent somewhat soon. The closer you get to the 6-minute mark, the more you're starting to get suspicious of your little tossy buddy. If he has no expansion down by around 6 minutes and 15, 6 minutes even 30 seconds, that's when you start vomiting out of sheer panic. And begin expecting Dark Templar, air units, even a 4-gate, I dare say. There's the Warp Gate opening, finishing up. One Void Ray starting to pop out. Spinecrawler planted for Decon. He's starting to get that suspiciousness. There's the Zerglings being produced on extra. Not many units out right now for Sick Iggy. He's going to be sending the Stalker forward to take out the Zerglings. Micro! Killing off the Zergling. And now we're going to see the Expand pop up. This is a very late expansion. Zerg's going to be getting very suspicious. And now Sick Iggy takes out the other scouting Zergling, but of course Decon is not to be fooled. We also see that the Evolution Chamber is being planted just in time to deal with any sort of early air, any sort of early DT. There's Void Ray number 1 for Sick Iggy. Given the lateness of that expansion, Sick Iggy's going to need to do absolute wonders with this one Void Ray to be enough of a threat. Evolution Chamber now down. Decon has not begun the Spore Crawlers. There's 1 and 2 being planted. Does this Void Ray have any kills? It would be delighted to get any Overlord it can, any Queen it can, anything it can. And there it is being revealed. Starting to target fire down on that Overlord. Both the Queen's starting to get ready. Will it be able to charge up? And now it's fully charged. Goodbye, Overlord. It was nice knowing you. The fully charged Void Ray retreats and doesn't take any hull damage in the slightest. And Zergling's starting to move forward by Decon. The Google Zerg would love to bust in here, do some big damage. And oh no! He whiffs the force field! Sick Iggy from Zynga having a total crisis at the front of his base. Some nice follow-up force fields, but he's going to be awfully low on sentries. No ability to apply any mid-game pressure. The Void Ray now pulling back. A perfect plant by the Google Zerg. The Zynga toss. Chrono boosting both his gateways. He has only 2. Sick Iggy trying to defend as best he can. A lot of those are very low health. And now we see the Roaches beginning to advance forward. This could be a little bit of a mistake by Decon, though. If those Roaches get too far forward, the single Void Ray is going to be able to tear them apart. Now Sick Iggy's Void Ray has returned back home, picking off 1 of those Zerglings, but they do slip up into the main. Second one gets taken down, and now the Roaches are at the front lines, but there's the Void Ray there, going to be able to charge up, but will he lose too many probes? Now Sick Iggy pulling back all of his forces. Decon continuing to drone up, continuing to macro, has the 4 Queens, is safe from air, but man, those Void Rays are just incredible against the Roaches, and it looks like Decon's getting cleaned up. The fully charged Void Ray up to 7 kills right now. Nice emergency walling off procedures from Sick Iggy. But while all this is going on, Decon, the Google Zerg, in power overwhelming mode, taking yet another expansion. And Sick Iggy feeling very uncomfortable at this point in time. Even with both these cannons up, his back door still wide open for any Roaches to shove themselves in. We also see that the cannon pylon was canceled. Those emergency defensive procedures will be removed. And wow, Sick Iggy, having the great read, knowing that he has to manage those expansions, is heading directly towards the 3rd. No, he was heading towards the Watchtower. Keep going north, Sick Iggy. It looks like Sick Iggy is starting to slide on over to the right. Wants to control those Watchtowers, and Decon, the Google Zerg, continue to send small amounts of Zerglings to the front lines. Uh-oh, looks like upon seeing the cannons, he'll be pulling back, or perhaps he's going to go in for a second attempt play. The Zealots are streaming forward, and it looks like a couple Zerglings are going to be taken down. Uh-oh, can he get in the main? Looks like a Zealot gets morphed in just in time, but is it close enough? Oh, no! It had not enough space. The Zynga toss once again has Zerglings in his main. Maybe he should throw down a Roach trap, maybe a Grants kills Ants. Anything he can to stop that influx of Zerglings into his base. And now Decon getting ready to kill off that Overlord. The Overlord falls. And another expansion up for Decon. Infestation Pit, we see the +1 melee upgrade, also a +1 attack upgrade. Roach is getting ready to kill off those destructible rocks. The 3rd base is kind of down for Decon, but the Google Zerg still doesn't have those Spore Crawlers up, and he needs those because the Void Rays are starting to head their way up. That would be a devastating blow. Are they queued up to head to the north? Well, they're headed at that angle. They're passing by the Watchtower. Oh no, headed through the center. If he attacks in time, he could take down those Spore Crawlers. With this 4th base up, Zerg will be nigh unstoppable with that macro, and once again, Google will have avoided losing, and will be getting closer and closer to that incredible comeback victory. And there's the rocks being taken down, and the Spore Crawlers will be up in time. But one poor Overlord, all he ever tried to do was let you do more. Getting taken down, no more supply. Well, actually plenty more supply. Decon keeps the Overlord alive. More gateways popping down for Sick Iggy. The Zynga toss, a robo facility in the works right now. More gateways, going to be going for that third base. Trying to set up Destructible Rock takedown. And as we can see, the Hydra Den also going down for Decon. Up to this point in the game, Decon has had really no way to have permanent aggression at the front gate of his opponent. That is because of these two Void Rays. This pair of Void Rays effectively denies any kind of aggression by the Zerg player. The +1 upgrade popping down now. We also can see that there will be an influx of observers, and with the 5 gates, Sick Iggy can begin to spend that racked up money, and a Colossus Den going down. The 4th base from Decon. I don't even think that the Zyngatos is aware of Google's 4th base in that bottom corner. Decon now gathering up as many gas as he can. Gobble, 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 gobble. No Neural Parasite, though. Well, he's getting Neural Parasite, though. Look at that timing. Now the Zerglings from Decon continue to spread out around the map. The Zerglings are really the only unit that are safe to head out in front and center because they can run away from all those units in time if need be. Speed is done for Roaches. A single Void Ray is going to try to do some harassment. Can begin working down on that Extractor. The 2nd Void Ray is in the center of the map. And here's the 3rd Nexus attempt. Oh no, the Google Zerg will spot it, but the Nexus gets planted. So now all the plans have been revealed. Sick Iggy, though, does have his robotics facility ready to produce those Colossi. The 2 Void Rays swing around to the left side to do any sort of harassment damage that they can. Sick Iggy, who is in atrocious position at the start of the game, on the verge of elimination now, starting slowly to stabilize. But man, that economy from the Google Zerg is looking better and better. If he can pick off a single drone, that would be good, but he could not pick off a single one at all. And now the Spore Crawler is rearranging. But once again, this bottom geyser is vulnerable. Destructible Rock takedown by Decon. He's gearing up to take himself a 5th base. The Spire now going down at the backside. Chrono Boost on Colossi. Chrono Boost on that range upgrade for the Colossi. And as we can see, that 4th Nexus, or excuse me, that 3rd Nexus is coming up. That 4th Nexus has been belayed by Sick Iggy. Another Spore Crawler coming down. Looks like he will ignore it because his focus is down here on the Roach push. Oh no, he has only 1 sentry. Would definitely benefit from having more and more of those out on the field. Oh no! Oh no! He is away from the cannons. But oh no, the Google Zerg! Oh my god! Oh, why don't you go win, Google Zerg? Belay that order. I'm in the mood to sack 5 of my essential spellcasters with full energy. My god, Sick Iggy got the luckiest of lucky breaks there. Sick indeed. The Observer now spots that there's an ever-increasing Roach Hydralisk army, or as I would like to say, an ever-increasing army that was effective in beta. Now Protoss players are realizing that Colossus, Sentry, Stalker, well, basically any combination of Protoss units are highly effective against a Roach Hydralisk mix in the late game. But in the mid-game, the Roach Hydra army is very effective at dealing with those very, very scary small armies from Protoss. And now we see Decon trying to run in. I'm not entirely sure where he's going. He's not entirely sure where he's going. The Zergling's trying to run in, but amazing positioning up on the high ground. Sick Iggy dealing massive damage. The Zergling counterattack is not being particularly effective, and oh my goodness, if Sick Iggy could pull off this victory, that would be an incredible comeback win. Now it looks like the counterattack is also being cleaned up. Sick Iggy has managed to clean that up. The gold base falls. Sick Iggy is pulling back for reinforcements. The Zerglings are streaming in from all sides, but the Google Zerg, oh no, has not even really begun to make use of this hidden 4th expansion. He got it up so early, but was preoccupied with establishing a safe 3rd. Oh my gosh, Sick Iggy could pull the incredible comeback victory here, giving Zynga that 4-1 victory, allowing him to advance to the grand final. Sick Iggy knows that even though he's behind in supply, he has a more cost-efficient army. In the army size tab, look at that. We see that the overall army size from Sick Iggy is actually larger than that of Zerg. That is because of those expensive units. The Roaches, so cheap on minerals, so cheap on gas, but so expensive on food. 2 food for one of those cheap-ass units. More gateways being planted by Sick Iggy, another Colossus. Sick Iggy looking increasingly dangerous over time. But Decon does have Infestors. Now keep in mind, Decon had 10 Infestors earlier, but Decon played this game called Hide the Infestors. Except the problem is the Infestors are going to stay permanently hidden in hell. He lost all of them for virtually no gain. But if he can plant down the perfect neural parasites with these Infestors, he'll be able to take down the Void Rays and Colossus with ease. The fourth space getting cleaned up. Oh no, it looks like the counterattack from Zerg. Exactly what the Google Zerg needs to do. Team Google with only one win on the table. Team Zynga with 3. If the Google player can win here, he'll be able to continue the comeback. And there's the fungal growth. Nothing has been lost as of yet. And there's the Neural Parasite, but he takes it down very quickly. And now the Colossi are vulnerable. If he can get a big Neural Parasite, he'll be in great shape. Or if he can just kill off these Colossi, and Sick Iggy not pulling him back. Preoccupied with the assault at the front of his base. Sick Iggy. Oh my god, telling Tour to leave the game. He apparently was lagging, but he is gone now. And Sick Iggy in a sick micro situation. Doing everything he can to stay alive, but in that production unit tab. See 25 roaches on the field. The infested Terrans finally run out of life themselves, as they do have the life expenditure of a Tamagotchi. We also see Sick Iggy managing to defend, but the fourth base is up for the Google Zerg. The goal has finished. We see the third up and running with 4 queens there battling it out. The Infestors are burrowed at home safe, and in the main we see a hive with the Greater Spire morphing in as well. And there we also see Decon continuing to build drones, continuing to secure his lead. And oh, ladies and gentlemen, what is the comeback unit that always helps you win when you are behind? That is right, it is the Dark Templar. If you ever need to win a losing game, build a DT Shrine and you are almost guaranteed to win once it finishes up, but it looks like it's going to be about 50 more seconds until the comeback can begin for Sick Iggy. Colossi being made, Immortals being made, but you know what are really bad at shooting up every single unit that comes out of a robotics facility. We also see the Broodlord cocoons warping in for Decon. Number of options seeming to dry up for Sick Iggy. He's beginning to move out again. Oh, that is a dangerous play. He has only 8 Stalkers, but it was just an attempt to clear off the Zel Naga Watchtower. The Dark Shrine finishing up. Will he begin making that ever so important DT unit? We see that there's maximum detection at the right side, but it is getting taken down by a Zealot counterattack from Sick Iggy. The warp in. Ever so minimal, but more than enough to disrupt the mining. The Google Zerg not even going to pay attention to it. He has a brand new gold base. God, Decon is such a gold digger. Leaving his dedicated 4th hatch that he's been with for so long for a new fancy one. And there's Decon now. Uh-oh, uh-oh. The comeback begins. There's the target fire on the gold base. We see that the right Zelnaga Watchtower is effectively secured, but we see all the Broodlords, the Corruptors, everything that can kill this army from Sick Iggy. Now moving forward, the Google Zerg has lost his gold expansion. Up in the top left, we see that there's many Spore Crawlers, but there's no Spine Crawlers to deal with them. Sick Iggy could continue the comeback kid play. Oh no, the Roaches in a horrible position. The Dark Templars still have not continued to move, but now the Broodlords raining down terror from above. The DTs also engaging in the battle on the low ground. My God, that is a Roach slaughtering army. But we see that with the Corruptors on the field, the Broodlord count might just be a little bit too high. These DTs are getting cleaned up as well, and it looks like Decon. Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh no, the Corruptors target firing the Colossi! The Void Ray will be able to stay alive! Archon's getting morphed in. Sick Iggy has amazingly equalized the food count. The 4th hatch falls. Sick Iggy from Team Zynga might just be able to do it. He now is ahead. Unbelievable. Decon, who is now mined out in his main, almost mined out as natural. He has those Infestors there. His entire Broodlord army has been completely decimated. He has to retake the gold. And on the left, we have an expansion that is oh so vulnerable to Dark Templar. Now it looks like Sick Iggy could pull the miracle win for Zynga here. Everyone thought it would be Google versus Microsoft in the grand final. The top 2 rated teams seemingly indestructible throughout the season. But the amazing comeback kids, the underdog from Team Archon Dog. Oh my gosh, we see the Dark Templar now working away at the hatchery. They see the Spore Crawler. They'll be able to take it down with the Broodlords on the field. Sick Iggy is starting to increase the Void Ray count. Some Zergling spawn on the right side, but Hero Pylon being the hero. And the Dark Templar managing to work down on some of those buildings. Will they be able to take it out in time? 600 hit points, 500, 500, 400, 300, 150, 50! And he takes it down! I don't believe it! Oh my god, sick Iggy, the sick DT play. But keep in mind, the game ain't over yet. The Broodlord count starting to rebuild again in the unit counting station. We see one Broodlord out on the field, 16 roaches, 4 Hydralisks, and the army from Protoss is getting ever so deathball-y. And who called it? Who called it? What happens when you build a Dark Shrine? You win games that you were losing once upon a time. And what do we also see incoming? It's, wow, ground weapon level 3 for the Protoss. The upgrade's looking very, very good on the Zerg front, a little behind from the Protoss front, but look at the Executor Colossus, 24 kills, the Void Rays, 5 kills, the Archons. You know what? They all have kills because this whole army has been doing a lot of killing throughout the game. The money getting quite high for Decon. He could begin mounting another assault fairly soon, but he has to be careful. He's going to keep his air units over the Xel'Naga Cavern, in the middle of Xel'Naga Caverns, and now the Broodlord's beginning to rain down from above. The Void Rays are available to begin doing damage, but the Corruptor count is so high. Decon, the Google Zerg, now positioning himself very, very nicely. Oh, sick Iggy from Team Zynga, pulling the miracle recovery from the start of the game where he was down only to 33 food. And there's the blink forward, but oh no, the positioning from the Google Zerg is too good. Decon slowing the game down. He was trying to rush forward with those huge counterattack wins, but now he's slowing it up. Staying comfortably parked in the center of the map, and there's the engagement, and it looks like Sick Iggy caught out of position a little bit. Now we see all of the Corruptors beginning to re-engage, but the ground army from Sick Iggy is just too strong. Oh no, Sick Iggy! Oh no, a nice plant, a nice fungal on those Void Rays. He desperately needs to take them down. There's another one falling, but Sick Iggy, the Zynga toss, might be able to do it again. The Hero Void Ray eliminating the Broodlord threat. And we have one Dark Templar on the field. If he wants to win, he's going to have to transition to only Dark Templar production. Lols. The Google Zerg having a little bit of disorganization. Now we do see the level 3 attack getting planted in the main base. The Dark Templar that was on the backside trying to target fire down this Spore Crawler. Does this work? Okay, no. I was like, wow, that would actually be really impressive. Google Zerg really not losing his overall army count, but the Protoss is slowly getting more and more Stalkers, more and more Void Rays. He's getting those Archons up, the ever-important Archon. And if Decon wants to win this game, well, he's going to need to begin mining gas at that expansion. But the Google Zerg will desperately need to mount a clean, slow, deliberate attack with maximum organization. Decon now keeping his Infestors burrowed at that backside. He'll never forget the legacy of the 5 that were killed off on the right here. I cannot believe that this expansion still has money at it. My mind is thoroughly blown. Third base for Sick Iggy looking surprisingly dry on the money count. It's basically this gold left for the Zynga toss, who's now moving up to the third base. Oh, the Infestors are all there. There is no observer. The angle is good. He takes out the expansion, and it looks like Decon doing the smart play, just letting it die. And there's the blink forward. We see all the Infestors. Oh no! Now moving towards the natural, to that gold base. And here are the Infestors. Can he get a good fungal growth off? No, he doesn't manage to take fungal growths off. But it looks like his hand's not quite joining into the fray. We see the Overlords floating in, and there's the Neural Parasite. But it's coming a little too late. Decon, the Google Zerg, having a total collapse at the late game with such a tremendous lead. Decon faltering at the 11th hour, and now we see the advance forward. What do you build to win? You only get one guess in Zynga versus Google. Team Zynga up 3-1. Could be able to pull the miracle victory and close the series out 4-1. Decon streaming in with roaches. The only way that Decon will be able to win is if Sick Iggy pulls an Idra, and GG's right now. But Sick Iggy, I don't think, has that in him. I can't believe it. Sick Iggy was so far behind, so close to losing, and there it is, GG! Zynga does it final! They will be playing against Microsoft this Friday in the grand finals of the After Hours Gaming League. Macro Hard Microsoft versus Team Archon Dog with Sick Iggy, not one of the regulars in the regular season. Sick Iggy, not one of the top-ranked players, must be feeling great to have secured that victory for his team. Sick Iggy now getting the clutch win, bringing his team to 4-1. I don't believe it. In the third, fourth place match, we are going to be having Amazon versus Google. In the grand final, we will be having Zynga versus Microsoft. It is going to be David versus Goliath. I can't believe what I have just seen, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Day 9, and this has been the second semifinal of the After Hours Gaming League. I am delighted to let you know that the finals will be epic. Can't wait to see you on Friday. Tune in at www.day9.tv. It will be epic. There's even booths, pro gamer booths for the teams to step into, an 8-foot by 4-foot check. Who will win $5,000 of my money to donate to the charity of their choice? Will it be the team from Team Microsoft, or will it be the programmers and artists from Team Zynga? All will be told on Friday. I will see you then, and you all look very beautiful today.